Okay, so in addition to taking specific viewer deck lists for playing on stream, I also do what I refer to build around submissions, where someone says, hey Jeff, can you build around this card, this group of cards, this combo, and try and put together something that's playable. And while I can't work with everything, if I'm willing to take a crack at an idea, we'll put something together. So this was a viewer submitted build around submission for Yarok with my choice of landfall cards, because Yarok here notably does not just double up creature triggers, it doubles up permanent triggers when they enter play. So that means, you know, Scute Swarm, Kazandu Mammoth, Felidar Retreat. We used to explicitly use this card to double up Field of the Dead triggers when that card was legal in this format. So speaking of Field of the Dead, I felt like Felidar Retreat was probably the best landfall trigger that we could be doubling up, similar to Field of the Dead. So I've constructed this build around to be a base green, black, white Abzan with a small blue splash for Yarok at the top end deck. So we've got, you know, Spellbinder technically gets doubled up by Yarok too, so you could theoretically get 2 triggers with it. Just a good piece of disruption. So we've got Thoughtseize in this to disrupt our opponent's hands. We've got Bloodchief's Thirst as well as a smattering of the removal to have play against decks that play to the board. And then we've got things like Abundant Harvest and Oracle of Mul Daya to kind of smooth out our draws. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see if what we have going on here can be reasonable in our historic or if it turns out to be a little bit too clunky. Should we add Yori in for consistency? Oh, Twitch chat. I think I Triome tapped on 1, tapped land Thoughtseize on 2, Spellbinder on 3. I don't really want to like shock and do this, and then shock for this again, and have done 6 damage to myself this game. My opponent's playing something aggressive, that's a death sentence. And if they're not playing something aggressive, giving them more chances to draw other meaningful cards with Thoughtseize is also decent. Alright, let there be Gandalfs. Take the saw coming before they can hide it. They'll get to take commit with the Spellbinder. Actually, do we take the Wrath of God? I think we take the Wrath of God, because I can get Oracle down next turn. Main deck Lanterns become a staple in a lot of decks in this format, just because it does what you saw there, and it cycles against non-graveyard decks. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I don't think the Abzan Fall deck really benefits from Yorion. It doesn't really have entrance play effects, Neil. They draw another Wrath of God. Come on, my Oracle, sure. Let's resolve this while they're tapped out. We need a Yorion Tainted Pack build around.
If you show remorse, hurry.
If there's 2 lands on top of my deck and these aren't counter spells, shame this wasn't a land. If this was a land, we would have gotten to kill Teferi.
Now.
Or if this had been an untapped green, we would have been able to harvest into another land. And they have untapped lands here they can Wrath of God. I get to Scute Swarm them though, so like that's sweet. I think we've died. Wait, they're not killing Oracle? That's a choice. Can I get some lands under the Scute Swarm? Man, we are really unlucky. There's 28 lands in this deck, I believe, with our flip cards. We're on 24 plus 4 Mammoth. The fact that we missed the land drop to not kill the Teferi that turn was huge. Crossberg and Dusty Cupboard, thanks for the follows. Wrath is less appealing with their Yarok in play.
Trust me, you'll thank me later. Time is much more malleable than people think.
The 2-color creature land cycle is too good for historic. Well, I mean, we're gonna get those eventually anyways, right? Hey, Kolpok, thanks for the 26 months. Welcome back. Why are there no Fabled Passage in this deck? Because putting basics in my mana base makes getting the colors you need consistently very difficult. Thanks for the follow, Devil. The cat's growling is very nice. Yarok plus Scute Swarm seems like a great way to break the client. Plus Felidar Retreat. I think I need to do this before I Yarok. Just to beat the counterspell. Leave another sweeper here. It's our first Wrath of God, so they could easily have another sweeper here. Well, shoot.
Still have much to learn.
I'm taking her because I don't want them to be able to Narset and Memory in the same turn. Opponent's hand's got a lot of beef in it, shit. 10, so they're 1 mana off of Narset and Gearhulk in the same turn. Oh wait, they already can, right? Because Teferi untaps 2 of their mana. Actually, I'm probably supposed to make a cat with this first one, right? Excellent, we can start pumping them up. Good afternoon, Unlimited and EEGS. Gonna give me a card? Like they're turning 5 cards into 7 cards. They're turning my 0 cards into 1 card. Hey, deal.
Put thoughtfulness before action.
Hold that thought.
Okay. So they're gonna have 3, 4, 5, 6 mana here. So they're 1 short of discard Opus and Gear Hook It. They could kill both our Scute Swarms here. So what's our best draw next turn? An Oracle of Mul Daya? That also assumes no counterspell because they're going to have 3 mana available with the treasure. Probably done at this point. So Fracture seems great. Kaya is good. Rest in Peace and Duress are reasonable. Honestly, this is probably a Scute Swarm out matchup, huh? They just have too many sweepers. Explorer's pretty bad against Narset. Three ways to take Teferi off the table is probably plenty. We don't want to draw too many reactive cards. We have our discard spells to pull them out of hand as well. Look at this Zagoth Triome. Putting all these check lands into play untapped. That's just good deck building, chat. It's good deck building right there. See if our Oracle hits can break a little bit better for us this game or not. Save this from dying this turn, hopefully. Do I want to draw Thoughtseize? I think I do. I can Abundant Harvest past it if I didn't want to draw it. Taking their Gear Hulk out of hand sounds great. Great, no Wrath of Gods, great for us. J-Bu, thanks for the follow. Alright, so they're going to be able to Prismari Command, kill something this turn. Probably the Oracle, I imagine. Oracle literally just being a 4-mana 2/2 this game. Really not particularly impressive. Lot less good when you don't have Citadel in play, which is the other deck that we've played that card with. Assume this is gonna kill the Spellbinder. Probably loot for them. We'll get to fracture the Gearhulk before it trades with the Yarok. Actually, am I okay with that? I think I'm actually okay with this trade because I can just play second Yarok and we can save this for a Teferi potentially. Hey, BCE, thanks for the sub. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend wherever you're at in the world. You can submit a build-around deck list. Details on deck submissions can be found on my website here. Okay. They know about this fracture, so... yeah, that makes sense that they're tucking this in. Okay, it's not terrible. They are at 9. That technically keeps them off of Opus for a turn. You basically need them to brick on lands. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're just not going to beat Opus Gearhulk here. Alright. The Gandalf matchup did not feel particularly promising. Feels a lot more difficult when you have to pay mana for your Field of the Dead. Honestly, I wonder if Field of the Dead's even too pushed in this format. With like Gearhulk and Magma Opus, it really feels like these control decks probably have the ability to go toe-to-toe with actual Field these days. Power level of the format scaled up. Hey, Jay Duffy, thanks for the 2 months. Welcome back. Yeah, I feel like Field of the Dead is probably one of many cards they could bring back off the ban list at this point. Yeah, I agree, Desert Fox. Most of the things on the ban list predate Jumpstart. There's nothing suspended currently in Historic. Everything is banned. Hey, thanks for the 35 months, Hangman. It has been a hot second. Good afternoon, Simone. Alright, so... I think we take Curate and hope their draw is clunky. Absolutely not. I hate Field of the Dead. Sure. Here's a lukewarm take for you. Most things in Magic the Gathering, I could like throw a dart at a wall at a group of Magic players, and like one of them would scream because they would get hit by a dart. But I would find someone in that group that would hate half the things that are currently legal. Like most of the things in Magic, people hate to play against to some degree. Magic's a very polarizing game. For every person, you know, even just think about the last deck we just got done playing against. How many people hate Torrential Gearhulk and Teferi Hero of Dominaria? A lot, chat. A lot of people hate those cards. I hate counterspells, creatures, combo, the color blue in general, and myself. What am I getting? What am I getting rewound this turn? Keeper of Chimes, good afternoon. I think we play this. And then we're like kind of hoping to hit running lands on top of the Spellbinder for everybody to get back in it. God, our Oracle of Mul Daya have been such dog crap so far. Almost 50% of our deck is lands, and our Oracles have put like... We've had Oracles in play for like close to double-digit turns, and they've put like 3 total lands into play. It's been really bad. Does this constitute cats versus dogs? Our deck full of 4 and 5 mana cards does not seem very good against counterspells so far, chat. This news will come as a shock to some of you. Explore seems fine in this matchup. We leave a couple of those in. RQR Master X85 with the 63-month resub. One of the OGs. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Counterspell is banned, silly Cold Cesar. Okay. Which is a bummer. No, listen. Have you been watching the last 2 decks we played against? I do not want to play against Jeskai or Temur Flash with actual factual counterspell in their deck. That sounds like a miserable experience. Oh. Taking the spiral again here. If counterspell is banned, why is Dimir Rogues playing eight copies of it? Asking the real questions. It depends on the situation, counterspell versus lapse. There's definitely a number of spots where lapse is better than counterspell. There's also plenty of spots where the inverse of that is true, though. Just gonna take this trade. Alright, and for my next trick, a brick on top of my deck. There was a land on top of our deck, chat! Maybe this card does work. Opponent cannot discard Opus from exile, that is correct. This is a 10 mana card when we exile it. Look at that. I don't know that we're gonna do anything useful with all these lands because we don't currently have anything that triggers with them, but you know, we're taking game actions. Taking some game actions. Ooh. Cast Field of the Dead. Let's see, my cats are ready. They draw Gear Hulk? He did. Rough. That one before they can untap here with 2 new draws. Well. Okay. So we can cycle into the Abundant Harvest. We're just like looking for lands on top of the deck. Okay. Okay. Well, we got to accomplish like a thing adjacent here at least once, so that's nice. Oh right, it gives them vigilance too. That's sick. I'm gonna wait to cast this next turn. I have plenty of mana, and I can use this to clear the top of my deck in the event that there's another non-land on top. Give us more chances to Oracle. If they hit land here, they could Magma Opus this next turn. Alright, the untapped red source here. Yeah, I like the design on this cantrip a lot. That's really sweet. They were dead if we attacked all. Yes. Yes. I agree with your assessment. Chat, if I attacked with everything last turn, though, I wouldn't get to have this turn. I just need all of you to understand how sweet this turn is gonna be. Chat, my deck isn't very good. Let me pop off. Why would you? If I had killed them last turn, this turn wouldn't currently be happening. Look at Yarok grow my children. Even if this deck isn't very good, we at least got to accomplish this together, which is all we were really trying to do. Oh no! Oh no! Are they about to survive this attack because of Sublime Epiphany? Oh no! Oh, no. The pride cometh before the fall, chat. I was just making my things real big, not thinking about Sublime Epiphany. Alright, they have to triple chump block here at least. The hubris. Oh yeah, double Spellbinder, baby. I'll take that one and that one. Alright, so they can Magma Opus us this turn if they wanted. They do not want, chat. They caught us monologuing, chat. Thanks for the follow, Jimmy and Lad. Alright, whew. We won that game, so very clearly that means I played perfectly. No, they had Steam Vents in hand, chat. The Spellbinder showed Steam Vents. Afternoon Sticks. That is true. That was a content perfect game. Good content victory. All right, so we bottom this, and we have all of our colors here. Hey, Drakash. Thanks for the third of the year. Welcome back. Rest peacefully, chat. Ripperoonie, rest in pieces. Ah, Elite Spellbinder. So nice, we drew it twice. It's the part where they cast Rewind and the Nightpack Ambusher and they bury us in a box in the ground. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no! Why did I speak it into existence, chat? Think I can fit anything else in here in my mouth alongside my foot? Someday I will learn to use my called shot powers for evil. But today is not that day. Then to a stiff breeze, chat. Harsh but fair. Harsh but fair. At least we'll always have that second game together in our heart of hearts. Thanks for the 13 months, Lunar Chaos. Alright, I want to play at least one more with this. I want to try... I'm going to concede to another counterspell deck if we queue into a counterspell deck for a third time, because those don't seem very good. Hopefully we can find, like, Groll or Arcanus or Aura, something aggressively slanted. I'd like to play against something that's not a control deck. Try and showcase the idea against some bigger range of things. Luris, fantastic. It's exactly what we wanted for Christmas. I mean, to be fair, Nate, I think actual factual Field of the Dead wouldn't even be very good against these Gearhulk decks. Like, the reason why Field of the Dead was good against Control was because they didn't have a way to close the game out, and that's definitely not true anymore. Nekariami, thanks for the follow. Turn 1 Brainstorm. Okay. So, the problem with Land War Elves, and why I elected not to play it, is that Land War Elves is a mana source that we can't play with... Oh, they're rogues. Yeah, I'm not going to play against a counterspell deck. Land War Elves is a mana source that we can't play with Oracle of Mul Daya and doesn't trigger our Felidar Retreat is the problem. So... I agree with you that getting to our expensive cards sooner would be nice, but that's why I've got, what's it called, Explorer in the deck. Hello, lovely wife.
How late do you think you're gonna go today?
Hour, 2 tops. Love you.
And like
The lawn will be there tomorrow. It'll be okay, chat. The lawn can suffer a day. If we stay at a decent viewer count, I'm gonna do this deck and then one more. This deck might be over pretty soon though. We'll see. If we have a decent match here against the oven deck, we'll do one more after this at least. But if we get dumpstered by a non-counter spell deck, I think that's enough for me to move along. Alright, I'm gonna be marginally silent for like the next 5 or so minutes while I eat this bowl of chili my wife just brought me, because she's wonderful. Line cuts are $100 while the deck queue is full, which it is at the bed. Huh? Man. We need some lands, chap. Rough. Okay, so do we just Felidar Retreat then? I think we just Felidar Retreat, huh? This is going to come as a surprise to many of you at home, but it seems to be easier for our deck to do the thing when there aren't counter spells at the other side of the board. Is that a lethal? It's a lethal, God bless. So, Heartless Act is better than Bloodchief Thirst here because this kills Mayhem Devil. Spellbinder was okay there, but I feel like that's probably the exception. I probably don't want this against their Mayhem Devil Claim the Firstborn deck. And honestly, I kind of feel like I just want more cards that play to the boards, like let's board an Oathakaya and trim these Thoughtseizes. Maybe we'll leave like a Bloodchief Thirst in. I think I like that. I will say, I know our deck's been a little clunky against counterspells, but one thing that I would like to pat myself on the back for is our 4-color mana base this set has been very serviceable. I know I'm probably about to get gotten since I'm going to say this out loud, but like we haven't had games where we haven't been able to cast our spells so far, which is great. Like if we have lands and spells, we can cast the spells that we have. I might actually play this spell as a land. I wasn't sure if I wanted a land or a spell there, and my deck was nice enough to give me both. So when I asked about Growth Spiral, so the problem with Growth Spiral is part of the reason why this mana base works is we actually don't have that many blue sources in this mana base. I think we're on 10 or 12 blue. So playing a blue spell on 2 is not something we can do consistently. The way the mana base is constructed. For people asking about Cage in chat, I think Cage is worse than Rest in Peace in this matchup. And I don't think either of those cards are good enough to bring in 4 copies of them. So basically, I think that effect is fine. If I didn't have Rest in Peace, I'd bring in Cage. They're the non-company version. They're the food version. Scute Swarm, Yarok, like, we could pop off here, right? I'm gonna hold on to the Abundant Harvest here because I might want to use this to clear the top of my deck for Oracle of Mul Daya next turn. We can dodge a Mayhem Devil, we can dodge a Bull. Okay. Yeah, one spell left. Pretty sure I'm taking the hit from the Wellspring here if they attack. No attack is good for us. Open on this. Alright, and another one. Alright, we'll just concede. We'll concede the counterspell matchups. The non-counterspell matchups seem sweet. Get to actually execute our game plan and pippity pop off. Pippity pop, the fun don't stop. Might have been right to shock Thoughtseize there. That's probably a kiss of death. I think we needed a hit there. We hit running land, the Felidar Retreat could get us there. Magic. And like games like that, right? You're like, alright, we died to Grawl, but like, what happened in the game where we died to Grawl? It's like, well, I played Oracle of Mul Daya in my 28 land deck, and then I missed on lands 2 cards in a row, so it's like... we bring these in. They kill Cleave. Yeah, exactly that, Jareth. Oracle's been really inconsistent this set. Like, Oracle felt really good when we were playing it with the Surveil and the Citadel, in the Sultai Citadel Storm deck. And it's felt real mediocre here. Abundant Harvest and Explorer have felt okay with it, but still just not that same consistency that we had in the other archetype. If you're someone that's new to the channel like Clown Baby, welcome. Be sure to check out my YouTube when I'm done today as well. I stream three to 5 different decks every single day of the week, so it's a great resource to find lots of different deck videos posted. All the things that seem reasonable end up there. Now I have a decision to make. Do I shock in Godless Shrine and Bloodchief's Thirst here, or Fatal Push, or do I play Kazandu Mammoth so I can Oracle next turn? I think I gamble on the Oracle again next turn. Is there a Scape Shift OTK in Historic? There is not. Worth the Burr, thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back. Yeah, I thought about trying to work Brainstorm into this archetype. Getting the blue mana consistently early is tough, though. I think there's some way to put Yarok into an Ephemerate deck. So the problem with Yarok in like an Ephemerate shell is that I think it just ends up being win more in a lot of situations. And what that means, if you're not familiar with the jargon, is basically the games where you're winning with Ephemerate and Yarok, you're probably winning without Yarok. Okay. Okay. Now, the awkward part here is we're drawing a land next turn. I do have Bloodchief's Thirst to clean out their next threat at least. This technically blocks the Land War Elves, he says before getting Ember Cleaved. Woof. Okay, so we gotta kick this here, and then we're holding on to Overgrown Tomb in case we draw Felidar Retreat, but probably dead next turn, I imagine. Hey, thanks for the 1.5 years, Vlad. Strixhaven has been absurd for Historic. I think Historic is one of, if not the best Magic format I've ever played at the moment, and it's been real mediocre to whatever for Standard. Wait for Fatal Push in case they have Cleave. Because if they have Cleave, we're dead anyways, so it doesn't matter. Miss Shocking in the line. That's true. I did punt some click efficiency there. It's a good catch. Real mediocre to whatever is how I gauge basically everything in my life. If you set your expectations low, it's always easy to achieve or surpass them. I will catch up on Discord stuff after I'm done streaming today. Usually that's something I do as part of my wrap-up. Fox, thanks for the follow. You know, honestly, it kind of feels like there's a chance someone talking about Scapeshift in this deck. There's probably a chance that Scapeshift is just better than Yarok. It doesn't require a splash. And like Yarok's only good if we have lands and a payoff, whereas like Scapeshift is good if we only have a payoff. I think there's a good chance that my boy Yarok's time in the sun has passed without Field of the Dead. And that he's pretty win more on average. Teamer Phoenix. Smells like Teamer Phoenix. Rip. We take the Lightning Axe. Or discard outlet. Afternoon, substantial. Okay, look at how they massacred my boy. Yeah, Scions with Arcanist is sweet. Letting this flashback 2 and 3 cost things is nice. I guess I'll just trade this for the Arcanist. Land? Oh, sometimes lucky. Yeah, Teamer Phoenix top 8'd the Insight 5K yesterday. Looked pretty reasonable. Zan Saeed's been streaming it on his Twitch channel. He's a very, very good Magic player. He's one of the grinders on the SCG tour back in the Paper Boomer days. When there were paper tournaments. Hey, Substantial, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I wouldn't be here without folks like you. Thanks for keeping me around. Dear Jeff, what is paper magic? It's something I'll tell my kids about someday. Okay, so we get to go Spellbinder into Mammoth here. And then Next turn, we could theoretically draw untapped land, go Yarok, play the land, give this 4/4, explore, play another card, give it 8/8, and we're still shy of lethal, huh? Back when we had a 3-hour break in Indy and we all got lunch between rounds because of software. Were. It always makes me chuckle when I would hear people that are new to Magic be like, I can't believe Magic Arena turned into what it is today. And you're like, well, those of us that have been using Magic software for forever are not surprised. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the tournaments I used to travel for were lower variants than like the way tournaments are structured today on Arena. So like, for example, when I would travel to play in an SCG Open was a 2-day 15-round tournament. So you would play a bunch of matches over the course of 2 days, and you having a longer tournament like that meant that you could top 8 with 3 losses a lot of the time. And it wasn't uncommon for me to have 1 or 2 buys for that 15-round tournament, which meant I only had to go 10-3 in 13 matches played. Sure, traveling can be fun with friends too, but just in terms of like if there's a big difference between like that 15-round tournament structure and like the tournament structure I played yesterday where I lost the first match, so I might as well just drop from the tournament because the expected what you're going to get from continuing to play is 0. So like tournament structure incentivizes different things like that too. All right, so Rest in Peace and Grafdigger's Cage look great here. Kaya can exile some birds. Bixomadi, thanks for the follow. For those of you that are new to the channel, like Bix, before I was a streamer full-time in 2012 to like 2016, I traveled a bunch to play on the SCG Tour, the Star City Games Open Series, top 8 a number of their tournaments. I think my top 8 rate for like their 2-day tournaments was about 23 or 24%, and it wasn't uncommon for me to top 32 or top 16 most of the events that I played in. Played in a couple of their Players Championships, and now I stream full time. Not that traveling is an option right now, given the state of the world anyways, but even before the world went to what it is now, I was mostly done traveling. Yeah, that's actually something Yu-Gi-Oh! Does that I think is really smart. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Scales their top cut based on the number of people that they have playing in the tournament. So like in their larger tournaments, they cut to 16 or 32, depending on what the thresholds of player counts they have are. And I agree that makes a lot more sense. It's very silly to me that like a 64 player tournament cuts to the same thing as like a 2,000 player tournament. Super inconsistent and lazy. Yeah, the bulk of my traveling was before I had children or before the children were mobile. Because contrary to what you'll hear from some people, really small children are really easy to manage. It isn't until they get to about my daughter's age, who's almost 11 months now, and she can walk and she can crawl up the stairs. That's when they get difficult. When they turn into tiny curiosity machines that want to play with everything that can kill them, and your job as a parent is to stop them from doing that, that's when things get tricky. When you can like set them on the floor and like go in the other room and come back and know they can't move of their own power, it's super easy to be a parent. Yeah, escort missions. That's a great way to put it. Children are escort missions. You think the AI mapping is bad in your favorite video game? Let me tell you about children's AI mapping. Faithless looting art is something. It is something. Something is a good descriptor. Holy gosh, chat. 2 lands on top of my deck, and one of them was a color I was missing. It's like Christmas. I genuinely did not think that this... I thought Wyatt Darby had, like, paid someone to mock up a really professional-looking fake spoiler. Because it was like, it's just wild, right? Like, there's no way they're putting this card in Historic, and there's no way that art is real. It was just, like, the 1-2 thought process. I'm gonna Lightning Axe my Oracle here. A lot of people have complained that the artwork is bad, and I don't think I'd call the artwork bad so much as, like, I look at this and it doesn't look like a Magic card is the issue. It just looks really out of place. I think I take the Crackling Drake, because they could play the Narset next turn anyways. I think they're going to be doing Brainstorm and Faithless Looting Japanese arts in an event, I believe is their intention. Well, they tapped off of red mana here, so they're not going to be able to kill a Scute Swarm, so that's nice. If we draw lands next turn, we're in a great spot. If we draw Oracle of Mul Daya and hit some running lands, we'll be in a wonderful spot. Wonder if they're gonna, like, Abundant Harvest for a land, trying to find a red source. So they're gonna Brainstorm, sure. Do we take this hit so we can kill their Narset on the backswing? I guess if I draw a land, I could Felidar Retreat and kill the Narset. Yeah, let's just do that. Oh, they hit the red source, huh? If we brick on a land here, yeah, another Scute Swarm's pretty bad. At least Narset goes away if they down ticker now. And we have 7 mana, so like if we draw a land next turn, we can go Felidar Retreat, Scute Swarm. Hoping to dodge their thing that lets them kill this, the Blitzkrieg Bop. Pillar of Flame gets rid of my Swarm. That's a big in shit. Could have a counterspell or an Aether Gust here. Could be like a Negator or Disdainful Stroke, though. Well, we're definitely hitting our land drop. I think I'm going to go ahead and attack. I think this trade is good for us. Yeah, this is game 3. Big thunk. Big thunks. Alright, so... Come on, land! Come on, land! Hit me, dealer. Hit me, dealer. Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. We'd have won with the land, right? These would have all been 3s. They block 1, take lethal. All right, so, all things considered, I don't think our deck wasn't successful from a did we build a competitive deck standpoint, but we did have some sweet games. We got to pop off and make a whole bunch of triggers with our Yarok a couple of times. As far as the core deck idea goes, part of me wants to try at some point, like, Scute Swarm, Felidar Retreat with Scape Shift, because it's kind of like Yarok, only it's self-enabling in a way. You, like, don't have to have, like, the problem with Yarok is you have to have, like, Thing plus Yarok plus lands, right? Whereas, like, if you have Scute Swarm and 6 lands in play already, you just, like, Scape Shift and then get a bunch of Scute Swarm tokens, right? So, needs Lightbinder. I mean, Felidar Retreat pumps up the jam, right? Yeah, maybe there's, like, a green-white Scape Shift deck. You could play some Hate Bears on top of Spellbinder, like Thalia and stuff, to keep you alive against some things, but as sad as it is to say, I don't think I'm going to take any more submissions for Yarok. I think this card is just not good enough in terms of what it does. The fact that it's an enabler that also needs too many other things to go with it just means it's not strong enough. The problem with Fabled Passage in this 3 or 4 color mana base is, like, one thing that was successful about this build is we cast our spells successfully every game that we were playing. So from that perspective, the mana base worked well. With Fabled Passage and Basics, we would not have been casting our spells consistently in those games. Your mana base is much worse with Field and Basics than it is with Triomes and Dual Lands.